Your phone lights up. It's late, maybe 10:57 p.m., maybe 2 a.m. That name you swore you'd never see again flashes across your screen. Hey, how have you been? 3 little words that hit harder than any punch you've ever taken. Your chest tightens. Your brain starts spinning. You tell yourself you're fine, that you've moved on. But deep down you know exactly what's happening. Your emotions just got hijacked. You stare at the message. Memories flood in. The laughter, the fights, the late-night talks, the way she used to look at you like you were her entire world. For a split second, you believe maybe this time it's different. Maybe she's changed. Maybe it's fate giving you one last chance. Stop, right there. What's happening isn't love. It's not destiny. It's not the universe trying to reunite 2 lost souls. It's withdrawal, a chemical illusion your body mistakes for connection. After months apart, your brain still remembers her, the scent, the tone of her voice, the rhythm of her texts. All those neural pathways built during years of emotional conditioning start lighting up like fireworks. You're not falling for her again, you're falling for the high. And here's what no one tells you. She's not texting because she suddenly realized what she lost. She's texting because she feels a void, an emptiness she can't explain, and your name is the easiest way to fill it. When she left, she was sure she was done. But time passes, silence grows, and curiosity turns into anxiety. She starts wondering, does he still think about me? That question becomes obsession, not out of love, but out of control. You're not her soulmate. You're her unfinished business, her unresolved chapter, her safety net when the world stops validating her. If you answer now, you don't get a second chance. You step back into the same trap wearing a different disguise. Because make no mistake, she doesn't miss you. She misses the version of herself she got to be when you loved her. The woman who felt desired, important, seen. She's chasing that feeling again, and you just happen to be the quickest route back to it. So before you type, before you even think about replying, remember this truth. You're not her what if. You're her as long as no one else works out, as long as her ego needs a boost, as long as she can still reach you. Don't mistake nostalgia for love. Don't mistake loneliness for regret. And don't mistake her message for a miracle. Because sometimes, hey, how have you been, really means, are you still weak enough to let me back in? Let's be honest. The first thing you'll feel is hope. That tiny spark whispering, maybe this time will be different. Your heart wants to believe it so badly. You start rewriting history in your mind, erasing the arguments, softening the betrayal, editing out the pain. But that's not healing. That's self-deception dressed as optimism. She's not coming back because she finally realized your worth. She's coming back because something in her life collapsed. Maybe the new guy didn't work out. Maybe she's lonely. Maybe she saw your life improving without her. The new job, the gym progress, that photo with another woman, and it triggered her ego, not her heart. You've become a mirror she doesn't control anymore, and that terrifies her. You see, women who leave and then return rarely come back for love. They come back for certainty, for control, for the emotional safety they once had in your attention. When you were together, she could predict you, your reactions, your affection, your devotion. Now, she can't. That uncertainty eats away at her, creating a kind of panic that looks and feels like missing you. But it's not you she's missing. It's the power she once had over your emotions. When she reaches out, she's not asking, "Can we start over?" She's asking, "Do I still have you wrapped around my finger?" You'll notice it in her words, the sudden warmth, the memories she chooses, never the painful ones, always the soft ones. Remember that night in the rain? I still think about our trip to the coast. It's a psychological anchor, a way to drag you back into the emotional trance where she always won. Each message is a breadcrumb, leading you straight back to the cycle you swore you'd never repeat. And here's the trap. Your brain can't tell the difference between nostalgia and connection. It releases dopamine either way. That chemical rush feels like destiny when it's really just habit. You're not falling for her, you're falling for the chemical loop she once trained your body to crave. She knows how to trigger it too. She doesn't even need to plan it consciously. The exact tone of her text, the rhythm of her typing, the timing, all designed by memory to reawaken your emotional reflex. It's not magic, it's pattern recognition. She might say, "I've changed," but has she really changed? Did she spend months in therapy unpacking her attachment style? Did she confront her insecurities, her need for control, her manipulative tendencies? Or did she just spend time being alone long enough to get bored? If you want to know whether she's sincere, don't listen to her words. Look at her timing. Why now? Why tonight? Why after months of silence? Right when you seem happy again? Because that's when they always come back, when your peace threatens their power. The question isn't whether she still loves you. The real question is, do you still love yourself enough not to fall for it again? She'll sound calm, maybe even vulnerable at first. "I just wanted to check in. I've been thinking about you." Her tone will be soft, almost apologetic, the kind that makes your guard drop. But don't confuse softness with sincerity. When guilt meets loneliness, it wears the mask of tenderness. She'll test the waters, slow and deliberate. A few texts, a memory, a compliment, then silence, just long enough to make you miss her again. It's a cycle. Push, pull, pause, repeat. Not because she's evil, but because she knows exactly how your emotions respond to absence. Every minute you spend wondering why she stopped replying is a minute she regains control. This isn't love, it's training. And the truth is, brutal. She doesn't need to see you, she just needs to know she could. That's what keeps her ego alive. You become her emotional insurance policy. As long as she knows you'd still answer, still care, still pick up the phone, she never truly loses you. She keeps you in orbit, feeding on your energy when her world feels empty. You'll see it in her patterns. She won't ask about your growth, she'll ask about your availability. She won't talk about the future, she'll talk about us in the past tense, testing your reaction. Every question is a probe, every memory a hook. She's not coming back to rebuild something real, she's coming back to confirm that she still matters. And here's what hurts most. Part of you wants to give her that reassurance. Not because you're weak, but because your body remembers the comfort she once represented. That familiarity feels safe, even if it once destroyed you. But read this twice. Familiar doesn't mean healthy. She might cry. She might apologize. She might even say all the right words. "I've grown. I made a mistake. I just want a second chance." But words are cheap. Growth is quiet. Change is proven through consistency, not confessions. If she really changed, you wouldn't need convincing. You'd feel it. Look at her life, not her language. Has she faced her own demons, or just avoided the silence long enough to miss your noise? Has she found peace on her own, or is she hoping to borrow yours again? The sad truth? Most people don't come back because they miss you, they come back because they miss the version of themselves that existed when you loved them. You became the mirror that made her feel wanted, and now that mirror is gone, she's desperate to see her reflection again. Don't hand it back. Don't give her the comfort she didn't value when she had it, because if you do, You'll find yourself back where you started, bleeding in the same place you once healed. Here's how it usually unfolds. At first, it feels unreal. You talk again, you laugh again, you feel that spark you thought was gone forever. For a few weeks, maybe even a month, everything feels right. You start thinking, maybe we just needed time apart. Maybe this is our second chance. But the truth is, it's not a second chance. It's the same movie, just a different act. The ending doesn't change. Because underneath the new smiles, the same dynamics are waiting. The same insecurities, the same communication breakdowns, the same emotional games that tore everything apart the first time. You can decorate the cage, but it's still a cage. See, reconciliation with an ex almost always fails because people mistake missing someone for changing for them. Missing you doesn't mean she's learned anything. It just means she hates how it feels to lose you. And pain is not growth. It's just discomfort. She'll say, I've been working on myself. But for how long? A few months? That's not transformation. That's emotional hunger disguised as enlightenment. When you get back together, the honeymoon phase tricks you. Everything feels exciting again because you're mixing nostalgia with novelty, a dangerous cocktail that mimics chemistry but has an expiration date. Once the thrill fades, the truth resurfaces. You're not in love with her, you're addicted to the relief of not hurting anymore. And she's not in love with you either. She is addicted to being desired again. That's not love, that's therapy avoidance. Eventually, she'll start slipping into old habits, the subtle criticism, the small arguments, the same manipulative silences, and you'll start walking on eggshells again, pretending you don't see the red flags because you don't want to lose what you've already lost once. You'll confuse peace with boredom, chaos with passion, and before you know it, you'll be right back at square one, questioning yourself while she rewrites history. But this time, it hurts more, because deep down, you knew better. You saw the pattern, you felt the warning, and you ignored it. That's the cruel part about taking an ex back. It's not the first betrayal that breaks you, it's the second one, because you did it to yourself. So before you let nostalgia rewrite your reality, ask yourself, did she change? Or did she just circle back because you finally did? Sometimes when they see you healed, they don't come back to love you. They come back to see if they still can break you. One day, you'll wake up and finally understand. Her message wasn't a miracle. It was a test of whether you've really learned the lesson or just memorized the pain. When she reappears, she'll say everything you once begged to hear. She'll talk about missing your energy, how no one understood her like you did, how she's not the same person anymore. But that's the trick. She's still her, just lonelier. Her return isn't healing, it's habit. It's her ego refusing to accept that you've moved on. And if you let her in again, she'll do what she's always done. Take your peace, your focus, your clarity, and call it love. She doesn't miss you. She misses the version of herself that existed when you adored her. She wants that mirror back, the one that reflected her worth, even when she destroyed yours. But this time, you're wiser. You understand that closure doesn't come from a text or a conversation or even forgiveness. It comes from discipline. From the quiet strength to say no, not again. You owe that to the man who stayed up nights trying to fix what he didn't break. You owe that to the version of you who begged for peace while she demanded chaos. You owe that to the part of you that finally stopped bleeding. When she comes back, because she will, stay calm. Don't rage, don't explain, don't try to prove anything. Just be silent. That silence will speak louder than any revenge could, because nothing unsettles someone who once controlled you more than your indifference. She'll test you again, maybe in a week, maybe in a year. She'll post something meant to pull you back, a photo, a memory, a song lyric. It's not love, it's bait. Let her fish. You don't swim there anymore. The truth is, real strength isn't blocking her. It's not needing to. It's living so peacefully that even her name feels like someone you used to know. You survived the storm she brought. Don't invite the rain again. Because once you stop craving her chaos, you finally make room for something better. Silence, freedom, and the kind of peace that no one can take away again.